In my last video on nuclear fusion, I talked about why nuclear fusion could be a potentially fantastic source of clean energy for the planet, and could effectively spell an end to our climate woes. But this comes with a caveat: nuclear fusion is notoriously difficult to achieve. There's a running joke in the science community that nuclear fusion is always 30 years away. However, given a recent surge in private funding for nuclear fusion from billionaires like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, and the sudden upsurge in startups trying to tackle the problem, we've made meaningful strides over the last few years that make nuclear fusion worth talking about once again. Nuclear fission reactors have been around for decades. Fission involves bombarding large, fissile atoms like uranium-235 with neutrons. When this happens, the uranium absorbs the neutron to become uranium-236. This is unstable and breaks up into krypton-92, barium-141 and 2 stray neutrons that bombard other uranium-235 atoms, resulting in a chain reaction. The breaking up of uranium into krypton and barium also results in a small loss in mass, which is converted to energy according to Einstein's infamous equation, E equals mc squared. Because c is the speed of light and is so large, a small loss in mass gives a huge amount of energy. Nuclear fusion is the opposite of nuclear fission in that it involves bringing together and fusing two smaller atomic nuclei, but energy is generated similarly. Mass is lost when the two atoms combine, resulting in a generation of energy according to Einstein's equation. Despite this similarity, the two reactions couldn't be more different in terms of their difficulty. Fusion may sound simple, but sustaining it has so far proven to be a nightmare. It is still, however, a worthy problem to pursue because it produces 4 times as much energy as fission, and doesn't result in the production of radioactive waste. Here's why fusion has been so difficult to achieve. Fusion takes place in a state of matter known as a plasma. Plasma is a hot, charged gas composed of positive ions and free electrons. And its properties are different from the properties of the 3 states of matter that we're most familiar with: solids, liquids and gases. Given that all nuclei carry the same charge and like charges repel, for 2 nuclei to fuse together, they need to collide with each other at temperatures exceeding 10 million degrees Celsius to overcome their mutual electrical repulsion. Once they overcome this repulsion and come close enough together, the attractive nuclear force between them dominates, allowing for fusion. In the Sun, gravity, which is almost 28 times the gravity on Earth and is so strong that it controls the tides of our oceans from millions of miles away, produces extreme pressure and creates the conditions for fusion to happen. On Earth, however, achieving atomic energies high enough to get the nuclei to fuse is a challenge, and so far, while quite a few reactors around the world have succeeded in doing it, none have managed to do so in a way that consumes less energy than it produces, and scientists and engineers are still trying to find a way to achieve the required temperature and pressure conditions for sustained fusion reactions. This is a significant challenge, known as achieving break-even or net energy gain. Despite its difficulty, however, significant progress has been made towards this end in recent years, and intensive research is still ongoing. Several different methods for achieving nuclear fusion now exist and are being tested out. One of the most promising ones currently being researched is called magnetic confinement fusion, which involves using powerful magnetic fields to confine and heat a plasma of hydrogen isotopes, usually deuterium and tritium, to a point where the nuclei are forced together and fuse. The heat released by the fusion reactions is used to generate steam, which in turn turns turbines that generate electricity. Companies like Helion, however, are skipping the steam turbines in favor of more novel methods of harvesting energy. Monday, December 5, 2022 was an important day in science. Reaching ignition in a controlled fusion experiment is an achievement that has come after more than 60 years of global research, development, engineering and experimentation. This is important. Earlier results were records, but not yet producing more energy out than was put in. For the first time on Earth, scientists have confirmed a fusion energy experiment released more power than it takes to initiate, proving the physical basis for fusion energy. This will lead fusion to be a safe and sustainable energy source in the near future. On the 5th of December 2022, a fusion reaction run at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in California achieved net energy gain for the first time in history. 2 megajoules of energy went into the reaction and 3.5 came out of it for a net gain of 1.5 megajoules. To achieve this, scientists at the lab focused 192 high-energy lasers on a target the size of a peppercorn. They heated a capsule of deuterium and tritium to over 3 million degrees Celsius and briefly to simulate the conditions of a star and achieve fusion. Is this an exciting development? Certainly. Perhaps fusion won't always be 30 years away after all, and who knows, maybe you and I will live to see the fusion age. It certainly seems possible. If you enjoyed this, you might also enjoy learning about how nuclear fusion could be the solution to our energy woes, and how Denmark became one of the forerunners in the fight against climate change. Follow me and subscribe to continue to learn about fusion energy and recent developments. I write every day mostly on topics related to business, finance, economics and topics in science that affect us.